One of the things I like about the MC20, particularly in Cielo form, is how not a race car it is. What do you think about the sound? Hey guys, welcome to a spectacular November morning up here in the forest. Today Zach and I are driving a car that I was particularly excited for, the Maserati MC20 Cielo.
Sky.
Italian
for sky.
Everything sounds better in Italian. You could say massive diarrhea in Italian and it probably sounds like era poopity, you know.
Italian commenter. I know you're going to put what the real version is. Please do.
It probably sounds fantastic. Even if you just guess at it, it's fantastic.
If we don't understand it, it sounds beautiful.
Power retractable hardtop on the MC20, goes up and down in 12 seconds, but it's also made of an electrochromic glass. So with the touch of a button, it goes from frosty to clear, sort of like the shower window at the Standard Hotel in New York City.
After like 10 minutes of showering. Oh wait, does that do that?
No, it does it like it does.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. So you can like have a voyeur shower or a private shower. Right? They only added that after people
Unless the power goes out.
Right. Then I don't know what happens. MC20 is an awesome car. We drove the coupe. Was it two years ago on the track and on the street, and the MC20 Cielo builds on that. 621 horsepower Nettuno twin turbo V6, rear drive, 8-speed dual clutch. Believe it's shared with the Corvette, built by Tremec. Carbon tub, which is a good time.
Yeah, so the rigidity's not compromised too much with the top going down, and this is the same hardware that as the coupe gets.
Yes.
So same transmission, same. I mean, obviously, but the engine has the same power. It's the same engine. They didn't change any of those things. They updated, or they gave this a few safety features that have now trickled down onto the coupe, like blind spot monitoring and auto braking, but nothing exciting.
And a new color called Aquamarina, which this is. It is incredible. It goes from gray to sparkly gray to sparkly blue to sparkly pink to sparkly gold. And depending on the angle you park it in, it's a little different every time.
It's so gorgeous.
It's
I'm into it.
Delightful. Now guys, before Zach and I hit the canyon in this supercar, give us 60 seconds with 8080, today's sponsor, without which this video wouldn't be possible, to see how you could hit the canyons in a supercar of your own. Hey guys, Matt Farah here with 8080 in Salt Lake City, telling you about their latest giveaway, this McLaren 720S. As you know, I love the McLaren 720S. This is the king of supercars on sale today, but obviously out of reach for so many people. With 8080, you can take this one home for almost nothing. All you need to do is go to 8080.com and pick any product from their store, all of which are made right here in-house in Salt Lake City, Utah, and you'll be automatically entered for a chance to win. 8080's given away almost $10 million in cars and prizes to people just like you. But the car isn't all. The McLaren comes with $60K cash in the trunk, covers taxes, tires, track days, fuel, whatever it is you need to ball in this thing like crazy. You simply cannot lose. And right now, 8080 is giving out crazy bonus entries. So head over to 8080.com, buy some cool merch, and enter to win this car. We are in sport mode. We will start in sport. Now, if we recall 2 years ago when Zach and I drove the coupe, we found that it was not exactly set up for the track. It was a nice road car, but it wasn't a track star. Even with the $10,000 carbon ceramic brakes, which are optional, it didn't really have the goods to impress us on the track, certainly not for the amount of money they're asking for it.
Yeah, it had the go, but not the slow.
Right.
Because this is a very fast car.
It is fast.
But you get to the end of that straightaway at Willow Springs, and you stand on that brake pedal, and it just wasn't bringing us down.
What are you in the road? Plastic bag.
But who knows what's in it?
Yeah.
It just wouldn't slow you down at the rate that you think would be appropriate for a car with carbon ceramics and this much power.
Right. Now, conversely, one of the things I like about the MC20, particularly in Cielo form, is how not a race car it is. I drove this thing around on the street for 5 days and found it to be delightful, beyond reproach. That brake pedal that doesn't really do service on the track is nice and easy to modulate and communicative on the street, not too grabby, right? The suspension has the best supercar ride south of the McLaren 720.
I agree.
I love the ride.
It's even like Ferrari's bumpy road mode is good, but this just floats in a nice way. It feels very like friendly.
Yes.
It feels like a touring car instead of something that is a track car or is trying to be a track car.
Right. The seats are supportive, but also normal. It has regular ass blinkers.
Yes.
And it has some hard buttons for some things that you would use regularly, like the nose lift and stuff.
Or like starting the car.
Right, a real button. You know, I love the Ferrari 296, and if I had 2 hours to live, I would blow my money on a racetrack and a 296 Assetto Fiorano. But if I actually wanted to drive a supercar out in the real world, use it as a car, that's not what I would choose, because the interfaces are infuriating. The fact that this one has very normal controls is a bonus for me, for the intended purpose. Let's switch to Corsa. Hold the knob, the gauge changes to sort of this, I want to say F1 style, but it's an impersonation of F1 with a horizontal tack. Suspension gets stiffer, everything gets a little bit sharper. And up here you want that because sport mode in the Canyon is actually a little floaty. Sport mode is great for the rest of the world.
Wow. I mean, it really, the power really picks up from 6 to 8. I think max power is at 6,500 or 7,500, but the thrust above 5 is nuts. Even though peak torque is at 3,500, it changes notes as you get higher up.
When it gets up, it gets up.
Wow.
Now, Car and Driver found that Maserati was a little bit optimistic with their numbers. They said, there's an entrance there, that's my bad. They said it does 0 to 60 in 3.0. Car and Driver got 3.2. Maserati also said that the coupe weighed about 3,300 pounds. Car and Driver weighed it on a scale, and it was 3,700 pounds.
It's a small difference.
That's a small, enormous difference.
That's a motorcycle. It is.
It is. That's a big difference. It's like, we forgot Uncle Phil was in the car. Like a
couple Phils.
Yeah, like we forgot there was like 2 big people in the car.
2 offensive linemen
when we waited.
Yeah.
And so, although Maserati says the car gains 140 pounds by becoming a convertible, we shouldn't believe them.
Well, or here's the nice way to look at it: it gains 143 pounds over the coupe. Wherever that weight may be, we don't know.
Right.
But the top might definitely be 143.
Right.
Or 300.
Now, you should drive back up the hill. Ooh, that's a nose lift situation.
Luckily, it's a hard button. Having a hard button for nose lift, an easily read one, easily activated, is so helpful.
I use nose lift a lot when I'm driving this car, and I'm happy to use it. And then it goes down automatically above 25 miles an hour.
Vehicle lowering, speed too high.
Yep.
And once it's down, the indicator goes away. Here we go.
Yeah.
Very fast automobile.
It's fast enough. Like I don't care if it's 0 to 60 in 3.0 or 3.2. When you smash the pedal, it feels fast.
Yeah.
That's what I care about.
It feels exotic. It feels fast.
Yeah.
The Ferrari has what, another 100 and something horsepower over this?
Yeah, the Ferrari's
I don't miss
really
it.
fast.
You know, it's really fast, but this is plenty fast to scare most people. It feels special. I mean, the whole car feels pretty special.
What do you think about the sound?
I think the sound is not great. I thought the sound of the coupe was okay. For some reason, maybe it's just been a long time since we drove that one, but I don't hear as much turbo whistle in this as I was expecting. And below 4,000 RPM, it's just a lot of direct injection and this kind of yawning moan sound.
Yeah.
It's just nah.
When we drove on the press launch day, we were on the track and then we were immediately on a fast canyon road, and we kept the RPMs very high all the time. Driving this one around on the road every day, the RPMs are lower.
Yeah.
And I would say that I've experienced it more down there, and it's only okay.
It's
not
very
like
okay.
Unpleasant, but it's not.
It's not
it doesn't
interesting.
feel like $340,000 worth of sound.
No, definitely not. You know, it's not something I want to hear.
Yeah.
I'd also say that this thing upshifts really aggressively in D. I mean, we were going, I think, 70 miles per hour on the highway, and it shifted up to 8th. It was at like 1,400 RPM. So you are in D and GT mode. You will find yourself in that rev range and sound a lot.
Yeah. GT mode is that's comfort mode. That was a hard no for me. My procedure is in the car, top down, sport mode, and that's my baseline. I had it in sport mode on the street the whole time.
I like the ride a lot in GT mode on the bumpy highways, but out here, this is fine. And
out here, Corsa, it's not too harsh.
It's not too harsh. There's a few bumps kind of hidden under here.
Yeah.
So about the brakes, I agree with what you said, where I like that the pedal doesn't grab you, isn't really firm right away like it is in the McLarens and like GT3 and GT3 RS. But I still feel like as you get into the pedal, it gets super firm, but isn't grabbing as hard as I want it to. It's
especially
like pedal
for
effort.
$10,000 carbon ceramics.
Yeah, the pedal effort is not equaling the clamping force.
Yeah.
Another weird thing is when you're on the brakes and you downshift, there's like a stutter that happens. It's almost like it over revs and leaps forward a tiny bit and then settles in. But what's weird is when I downshift, when I'm not on the brakes, it's really smooth.
Like it catches
like
the engine on the blip.
Yeah.
Right?
But when you're braking, it doesn't catch it. So it's just a programming thing. But again, for this much money, you have a dual clutch. I just expected that to be really good.
Yeah.
It's kind of doing what a ZF 8-speed does.
Right.
But I love the steering. I love the weight of it. And it gives me enough feedback without being really, really hard. And it's not super quick like the Ferraris. I like the ratio.
The steering's not as good as Ferrari or McLaren, but the trade-off is it's a little more relaxed on the highway.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have that crazy aggressive alignment. It's a Maserati needs to look great. It should sound great. This one only sounds okay. And it should feel fast. But it doesn't really matter if it's the fastest, right?
Yeah.
But it's gotta be engaging, and it's gotta be still sort of practical and usable, right? And I like that they've built a supercar that looks and feels set up for everyday driving most of the time. Mm-hmm. Now, there are some drawbacks. The trunk is very small. I couldn't even bring my small camera case that fits in every other supercar
which is also smaller than your average roller carry-on.
Yes.
The shape of the trunk, it's got a weird angle.
Yeah.
Anything rectangular, squarish will not fit.
This ties the NSX for suckiest modern trunk.
Yeah.
The
front will hold a folder.
The front holds nothing. There's also been, although this is a 4,000-mile press car, a few fit and finish issues with this, some carpeting pulled out there. I don't think the clamshell top fits particularly well for $340,000. And this one has some very expensive options, including the exterior carbon fiber appearance package, which is $39,000. I'd probably skip that.
I think the car is so pretty.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely stunning. Shape, paint, everything. But the carbon is pushing it toward the appearance of that track race car thing that the car is not.
Yeah.
I don't think you need it.
Yeah, and also this white or light gray Alcantara interior. This car only has, like I said, 4,000 miles on it, but it's kind of gunked up. And, Tesla does a lot of things wrong, but one of the things they do well is their white leather actually doesn't really stain.
Alcantara is
Alcantara
bold,
is different.
Thing.
Yeah.
It is an option, but you could get a different color of it, which I would recommend.
I would get the darker color.
Also, this uses the rear view camera, because if you use the mirror, you can see about 50% as much as if you use the camera. But the camera at night is not great. It looked like it was fogged out, even though it was very clean. And the other thing, what was the other thing I didn't like about this?
Will come to you immediately after we turn the camera off.
Well, the auto dimming, if you actually use the mirror, is hidden in the screen.
It's in the touch screen.
It's not here where there are buttons. So it's kind of strange to me that that's hidden in the screen.
There's some stuff in the screen that I'd like to be a button, such as the top operation.
Yeah.
But having said that, I do think this car, imperfect as it is very charming. Mm-hmm. It's gorgeous. It is fun to drive. And if I wanted to drive a supercar daily around Los Angeles, I think it would be a great choice for that.
Totally.
It's road focused and not race car wannabe, and I really like that. And it is better with the top that comes down than as a coupe, because it's just
you don't lose anything with the top.
It's a delightful roadster.
And and price wise, this starts at $260. Which is about $100,000 cheaper than the 296 Spider.
Yeah.
And McLaren Artura is going to, well, they don't have a Spider
They don't have a Spider yet. They will eventually.
For sure. But that's pretty good pricing, especially if you don't get the $40,000 carbon pack.
Yeah, skip all the extra carbon. So thanks to Maserati for letting us have a go. Thank you to you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, all of that jazz. And we'll see you later. Bye.
And remember, always fight your tickets. Use code TST10 on the Off the Record app, available in the Android and iOS store, or go to offtherecord.com/TST.